would you consider yourself religious? Statistically speaking, the probability is that you would. Even though church attendance is at an all-time low in our country and religious unaffiliation is at an all-time high, 78% of our country still considers themselves religious. 71% of our country then would say that they associate with Christianity. Why does it matter if you're religious or not? Because it has to do directly with our last verse today in James chapter 1, which says this: religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this, to look after orphans and widows in their distress, and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world. Religious affiliation is important because this verse speaks directly to what religion should be. Religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this, to look after orphans and widows in their distress. Orphans and widows were the least of these. They were the ones that were at the bottom of the food chain. They were the ones that were most at risk. Today, in many ways, it's the same way. Widows and orphans are the most at risk. And yet we've broadened that category a little bit because there's many people in our culture today that are at risk. Individuals that need to be cared for. And true religion cares for those individuals, which is great. Why? Because in this time, we have an opportunity to do it. We're becoming more aware of individuals in our culture at risk than probably ever before. And we have a time now to care for them. But there's one caveat to that. We must do it, not for ourselves, but to glorify God. Because it says this then, and keep oneself from being polluted by the world. What does it mean to be polluted by the world? Well, if we're caring for people, and true religion is to care for those that are in need, being polluted by the world is to do this, to care for people out of selfish motives. See, we're not supposed to care for people because I get something out of it. We're supposed to care for people because that's the right thing to do. There's a verse that tells us in 1 Corinthians that there is a form of religion that has no power. And what's that? It's a godliness that's focused on me. In our culture today, we can't be focused on ourselves. And so here's the test for us. Can we do these things with others at the heart of it rather than ourselves? Because if we do, I can guarantee you one thing. It'll be like a fire that starts. And when it starts, it becomes a raging inferno. And that's the heart of philanthropy in our culture today, which is why it's important when we think about religious affiliation, specifically Christianity, because if you're watching this, there's a chance that you affiliate with the idea of being a Christian. And if you do, true religion is a care for those that can't be cared for. So let's take advantage of this opportunity. Let's care for those that are at risk. Let's love those that aren't loved. True religion does that. And when we do, not with ourselves in mind, but with others as the focus, it'll be like a fire that will sweep through this nation, and we'll see God do great things. Hopefully James is encouraging you. Share below as to how it is, or challenging you. And then I'll see you tomorrow.